Hey everybody, did you enjoy the intro movie? Oh hey, the emotes are still here. How about that? It's nice to be back, isn't it? Well, the intro movie was a little bit of a buffer, but in case you missed the introduction, I'm Pabs, a rice-themed VTuber and an artist. Okay, listen, after Pabs version 1.0 broke himself out, we didn't get the chance to get all the stuff back in front of the police locker. We might have to organize some kind of heist for that, but I guarantee we will retrieve your items. I would never let my dear customers go unsatisfied. Also, it did take a minute to make that. Though I'm not gonna lie, that the behind the scenes of the movie production are kind of crazy. God, yeah, no, we're they're gonna sell it off in their own auction. We're gonna need to do some kind of double agent shit. Thank you. I'm glad everybody enjoyed the movie. I really loved everybody's reactions to it. I'm really glad nobody guessed the twist of who Camardo was. But yes, today we'll be doing a little bit of meme redraws. So we've got quite a few submissions actually. Let me pull up the first one and we can keep chatting about what everybody's been up to since that time. So this is the first one that Bunny submitted. I think this is from God, yeah, the Pabs Say Jam. This is what is from, I think, Mashal, a series about a kid who is like in a wizard world, but he doesn't actually have any magic, so he just like gets real buff. The second opening for this anime is absolute fire. Bling Bang Bang Born is one of the greatest songs ever made. I do like, for me, there was like my life before I listened to that song and my life after I listened to that song. You know what I mean? You understand? I never ended up reading the manga to the end. I read up to like the middle point of it, but it was really good. At least I enjoyed it. Alrighty. I think I'm just gonna draw like directly on top of these guys. That's gonna be like this. I really like how some, for like black and white animes or manga, black and white manga, they if you look at it closely, you see a bunch of different tricks that they use to make it look more alive. Like right here, how they have these white streaks right next to the arm, right? God. The we dodged the filler arc. That's definitely going to be like if the TV production falls ahead of the Pabs manga production, we might be cooked and we might have to be go to like the jail arc. But hopefully that's not going to happen. They're going to have to cut it out again once we go to Pab and Ball C Kai. You know that's going to be for the Blu-ray release. Pabs versus the 7 death row inmates. Yeah, it's gonna be like the fucking also one arc in One Piece where they had to break out of the prison. Like I forgot the name of the prison itself. It's not Aina's Lobby. I forgot the name of the prison from One Piece. Pab Ball Super, the Yakuza Kiwami stream. God, that would be fire. But yeah, I saw some people ask like how long it took to make. The answer is a while. I actually had to reel the scope back in very shortly after I began producing it because I realized that if I wanted to do like half the shit I wanted, it would be impossible to do. So I just went like, all right, we do the presentation thing 3 times. That's it. We gotta keep this thing lean. God, but Pabs a Star Adventure, that's just like my normal streams. My dream is to be able to just talk like a JoJo protagonist on command. I want to be able to do that thing where like they say like the word with like the Japanese quotation marks, you know, like that. Like I want to be able to do that with my mouth. The rice. But yeah, no. Yeah, originally we also had like some. There was originally supposed to be a 4th item, the shotgun. Hang on. Automata is trying to suppress Jupiter. Is the JoJoverse Pabs fit the same, or does it look like Slutty or designer Swiss cheese? Huh. That's a good question. Honestly, I think it'd be closer to that Gyaru Pabs model that I made a while back. If y'all remember that. I think that would be the closest analog to it. I should probably do something with that properly at some point. But frankly, after the absolute marathon that was getting the movie together, I am in no space to cook up a next project. I'm gonna need to cool my heels for a minute. The sluttiest type of rice? Hmm. I I feel like like answering this question is a trap. Cheesy rice? Hmm. You know, I haven't had rice with cheese all that much. I don't know. Something about the mix of the textures just never really appealed to me. But I could see cheesy rice being kind of a player. I don't know. Maybe like the most Pomo rice? Huh. I mean, huh. I'm fascinated by like the kind of like thought process behind these. Like what what is like driving the idea of like, oh yeah, this rice can get it. Flavor profile, origins, eggs. Oh, I see. You know, when you put it like that, I understand. I comprehend your vision just a little better. All right. We have the basic form over. That hand might be a little bit too big. I'm not gonna lie. This hand might be bigger than my head. Hang on. We might we might need to turn down the volume on that one. God, the orangutan mode Pabs, just the longest arms imaginable. That's how I get stuff down from the top shelf on bad days where I can't find my step stool. let's bump this back up to full for a minute. Or maybe just like 90%-ish. Cousin to the April Fool's Pabs and the undiscovered Yowie Pabs. Rubber fruit Pabs. God, yeah. I mean, I don't know. With some stuff, some of the stuff that's been going on in like the current One Piece, in like the not current One Piece stories, but like I think like the current lore of One Piece, I think that might actually fit quite well. I ate the Pabs fruit. Yeah, that's why I can regenerate so easily. I ate that fruit that made I ate that fruit that made me me. Hmm. Do you also want the ability to make funny jokes on command and generate awesome artwork? Then eating the Pabs fruit might be for you. He's made of rice. How did that happen? Yo ho ho, he took a bite of Pabs. I remember singing. What's crazy is that I remember hearing like the One Piece rap in Spanish and being obsessed with it as a child. So I used to like be really like giddy about singing it as a kid. One guy is made of mochi, so it could be a legit power in One Piece. Huh. And can fight Luffy on equal level? Mochi guy is kind of cracked. Yeah, let's get Mochi guy into the power scaling conversation. Does Mochi guy have blue hockey? I stopped reading One Piece before I found out what hockey is. So now I just assume that it's like whenever somebody says like blue hockey, green hockey, red hockey, I imagine it's like the wild assaults from Guilty Gear. It's just DBC key? Huh. Okay, I see. The guy who made the Arlong has blue hockey video deleted it also. Truly our modern Library of Alexandria. Honestly, I'm fine if Arlong doesn't get anything. That guy can go pound sand. Mochi Guy does have hockey that lets you see the future? I don't think that Dragon Ball Key lets you do that. Or does it? The hockey that lets you see the future. You know, that's just a power you can have. God, that reminds me of like that one post that's like, if you could smoke what type of weed on Earth, which would it be? And it's like the weed that could change the world. That's exactly what like the future hockey sounds like. God. The challenge is going to be this part here because, actually, I've got an idea. Let me duplicate this layer, edit, convert brightness to opacity, and then just for this hand part here. Okay, that kind of worked. His whole shtick is that he refined observation hockey to the point he's precognizant. And also he's Mochi, I guess. Yeah. He also understood the brand risks behind putting all your eggs in one basket. See, that's why I also made myself like be tight with the sun. You need to have multiple avenues to grow. right? You need to have multiple uses. Being flexible is of critical importance, and he understood that just as I do. Gotta get some variety in there, right? After all, rice is pretty tasty, but you wouldn't eat it as a meal in and of itself most of the time. It has to have something accompanying it. Is there like a tool that lets you like clean up dust? Oh, here we go. All right. If my calculations are correct, then this one should be good to like. There we go. Yeah. All right. We can also add a few additional effects here to kind of like patch up the. You know, what I find fascinating about One Piece is that everybody has like that One Piece side character / guy that they always constantly think about. Yeah, gotta have those speed lines. These weren't the original, I'm just adding them for myself. But yeah, I found that like everybody has like that One Piece side character or like jobber that they almost like always remember. Like for me, it's that fucking guy from Buggy's crew who's on a unicycle. Did we ever figure out what happened to him? I know. I think right now Buggy's like freeloading off of like some other two guys right now, but like I don't remember what happened to that guy and like the original member of Buggy's crew. Did they just never show up again? Did those guys just like die? Joined another clown themed pirates crew. They left him. What a tough market. You do end up feeling some sort of sympathy for for Buggy if that's the case. God, could you imagine? He's like, "All right, that straw hat motherfucker might have whooped my ass once, but I'm sure if we pull together, we can." Boss, we're turning in our 2 weeks' notice. You're what? Like Buggy's just like tearing up. He's sniffling real hard. He's trying not to cry, but you can see it's not working. All right, we should. I think this one's ready to go. Okay, we're at 72 DPI, and okay, let me save it as, and we can say this as like a proper CSP item. I think that way we can also eventually bump up the DPI. DPI is surprisingly not very important. This is something that I learned the other day. I have yet to verify it myself reliably, but I learned the other day that apparently DPI only really matters if you're planning to like print stuff. Otherwise, it's just not relevant if it's like a web image. In that case, just like sheer raw pixel volume is more important. Something to think about. I like I said, I want to verify it. Yeah, pretty much. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna do one that Jupiter sent over next, but I need to like do a little bit of real super quick lightning speed censoring over here. Get that sucker as high as possible for digital. Nice. Hang on, I gotta do some like very quick censoring because I was just listen. I've been in jail for like the past 9 days, and so I kind of wanna. I don't want to risk that shit twice. All right, distort, effect, mosaic. There we go. All right, we're back. For physical print, it depends on the printer and how much ink you have access to. Huh. Interesting. So yeah, Jupiter nominated this little fella this charming little Mario who has absolutely nothing wrong with him, MrTwitch.com, who I have freshly unaffiliated myself from. You can trust me to have normal streams and appropriate subject matters. All right. So, how do I even begin to approach this? That's true. They can't fire me anymore. What are they going to do? Unaffiliate me again? If you get unaffiliated twice, Jeff Bezos comes to your house and he takes you to the mines. Bezos, I'm normal. I'm normal. I tells you. I'm clean, Bezos. You gotta believe me. All right. Let's start with the belly here. I feel like that's the most important one. God, it really is incredible how huge that perfectly normal and not like anti, you know, what would be like the opposite of narcotic? A narcotic? Listen, it's fine, but it's kind of huge. Oh, I've got plans for this. Don't you worry. But yeah, for the time being, we'll like be like, yeah, this lollipop, which has a very, he's chewing it wrong. Mario got off on the wrong side of bed today. He's not super. I mean, this uncopyrighted Italian plumber, whose name I don't know, could be anybody. Who knows who this little guy could belong to? Certainly not a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate that is rather famous for its zealousness in shutting down fan projects. Like, come on, people. Giuseppe? No R for Giuseppe? Yeah, that sounds ridiculous. You sound crazy right now. Making my own video game company called Nintendo. Oh, that's crazy. Because I'm about to I made my own video game company called Nintendo. Yeah, we're hoping to get a Duolingo partnership pretty soon. It's gonna be pretty fun and tight. We're making a game where you can finally punt that little bird into oblivion, into the sun. Hassle me to learn Spanish again, why don't you? You little green prick. Nintendo. I hope you intend to follow through with that idea. Honestly, there's probably never been a better or worse time to start your own video game company. Because right now people are either getting bought or shutting down. And if you make video game studios fast enough, you can eventually luck out and get bought. There's a non-zero chance of them following in KFC's footsteps and making a joke Duolingo visual novel. God, I hope not. Because listen, I really hope not. But if they do, I hope they go with the route where you just have to fuck the bird. I'm not gonna lie. I hope you do have to go into the route where you just have to straight up bang the bird, because otherwise they're gonna make like a Gajinka of the bird, like a human Sona of the bird, and I cannot. Listen, look. This is Pabs talking. I cannot brook the idea of somebody wanting to like bang the bird's human Sona. Like on principle, it just. I don't know. Well, I don't know how effective was the thirst trap Colonel Sanders. Getting awful close to Chateau for boyfriend. Exactly, just play that. Just play that instead. What's the worst thing to have a hot person Sona? Punisher sticker with like the thin blue line logo. That's the worst possible thing that I can think of. The L dress is sexy and got a BBL anyway. In many ways, his journey is similar to my own. I played the fucking KFC dating sim. You know what the end reward was? Telling you to buy their new mac and cheese popcorn chicken bowl. Now, back in my day, if a game ended like with you They didn't even do like the noble thing like Chex Quest. Chex Quest smokes KFC. Well, no, I don't think they could make it a coupon in case like somebody, having that be like the reward and it running out, that might cause like some issues. I could see that being like problematic for them down the line. But it's even worse to tie it to like a limited time food item, because I don't know if that's going to be like a permanent food item either. Really, we couldn't even have a CG of the shirtless Colonel Sanders, of the shirtless hot Colonel Sanders. You couldn't even do that much for us. Crumbs. We are starving here, people. We are in a deficit of old man Yowie. We just glimpsed the future of April Fool's Pabs games. If I decide to make like a full-scale game for a bit, I need one of you to shoot me. I need one of you to like straight up kill me. I need y'all to like bring me back from the darkness. I need y'all to do some Kingdom Hearts shit and like tell me no. Okay, to be fair, my perception of like future projects is, again, I'm the kind of person where like if they've just done something big, I need like at least a full business week before I go like, all right, what's next? But RPG Maker and Renpai, ooh, you wanna? I'm not gonna lie, I did actually briefly consider making the trial thing just in Renpai, because that might have been easier to like handle some of this stuff. Like, for example, if I was doing it in Renpai, I might be able to do like a screen shake effect, like in the actual Ace Attorney games. I used to, obviously I did a lot of referencing of Ace Attorney in that video, but like, for example, like the screen shake effect, like when somebody slams the desk, I could not reasonably do that in. Well, you can technically do that. There's a way to do everything, right? In stuff like video editing programs, but it can be difficult. And so, for example, if I wanted to like make the screen shake after like somebody slams their hands on the desk, that would mean I would have to like go into the what do you call, into like the pan and crop features of it, and like manually move it up, down, and around. I actually did try to figure out like I did motion inputs. I was like, all right, that's like 6, 4, 1, 2, 8. Like I was doing motion inputs. Like I went frame by frame on an Ace Attorney video doing motion inputs, trying to figure out how to do the screen shake effect, and I was like, "Now this is dumb, man." And then I just didn't do it. That's the cool thing about being a creative guy, is that you just don't need to like do some stuff sometimes. Like you can get away with not doing a lot of stuff as long as you don't, as long as you like shut the fuck up about like what you haven't done. Also, this is coming out surprisingly good. The foot there is a little bit much, but like this well and truly is like one of the best possible images for it. Jupiter did a great job choosing this one. Yeah. Not even if it sucks, quit. If it sucks, cut corners. You are 100% allowed to do that. You are permitted. I am giving you explicit permission. If it is not working out, if the thing that you're trying to do is too hard to like get you across the finish line, find a way around. Cheat. Have a swindler's mindset when making anything creative. Yeah, the path shape. Well, maybe let's not call it that. Before I finish that sentence. Yeah, Jupiter. Listen, Jupiter has always and consistently been on the ball. There has never been a single time when Jupiter was not locked into my memory. Also, I did have a good long think about how we could like circumvent the possible repercussions of like having the censored object in this picture. So I thought of myself, a solution. Rene Magritte, my hero, you have done it again. Rene Magritte, the only valid Frenchman. There we go. Ah, yeah. This is not against code of conduct. All right, let's paint in the Pabs before we go any further. Alrighty. Got it. It's kind of interesting too. I thought I was so glad that I thought of it as well because it has like an interesting kind of art commentary. This whole thing, right? Like, I think we've talked a couple times, right, about like the idea of sincerity. How like the idea of sincerity is occasionally like lost. We talk about like how like Marvel movies just can't do sincere anymore. They can't like they can't just go saying like a superhero thing without being like, oh, that was a superhero thing. Like they have to hang a lampshade on everything, and it creates like this sort of like I have to I have to submit the Son of Man Magritte next time you do this. Yeah, irony poisoning. Yeah, something like that. And while the little Mario with the prohibited item is certainly very cool, I think it's kind of like in the same. It's in the neighborhood of like the Hello Kitty with Xanax kind of images. Not necessarily, not very nearly as edgy, but certainly in that neighborhood. So I wanted to figure out like a nice, like a clever way of like subverting the subversion of people. And the best idea I could come up with is like this is not this is not a real thing. This is the treachery of images strikes again. God, y'all remember that one post out that had like the picture of that one painting of René Magritte where the train was coming through like a fireplace, and somebody was like, "Yo, René Magritte is a dumbass. He put a train in a fireplace." Like, I understand that he's a talented person, but this is a rookie mistake. Yeah, getting dangerously close to ebug.jpg type poisoning if you go down that artistic route. The best kind of poisoning. ebug.jpg. I haven't heard of that one. What's that about? Also, I realized I haven't colored in his rice or his teeth. ebugs.jpg. Let me look that up. Redrawing Bugs Bunny in art. Oh, that's cool. Oh, like a bugs. I get it. Just like that post about Nighthawks where the painter forgot to paint a door. God. I thought that was like a real thing for a long time. Like I thought that was like an actual interview excerpt. I was foolish enough to believe it in my innocence. I'm glad it wasn't, but I'm a little disappointed that it wasn't as well. Mostly paintings, sometimes film and other types of visual art. Yeah, we got wasn't it wasn't like Battlefield. What's the name? Hang on. The name of that one movie where there's like a bunch of stairs and there's a baby carriage. Battle Bugs Potemkin. That's there we go. Thank you, brain. I only know it from the post where he swears heavily. Yeah. All right, let's see. And let's move this guy up a little bit because he's teetering a little bit close to the bottom of the border as it is. All right. I think this little guy's done. I only know where I know it from the post where he swears heavily can describe a good many deal of popular media. My comrades who reblog gift sets and let me consume media without consuming it. Y'all are the real heroes. Looks like he's having fun. Yeah. He actually looks rather distinguished with the pipe, doesn't he? Right. Next one on the list. We got. All right, we have the submission from Cyprus. So I actually, Cyprus, I'm glad that you're here actually, because I have a quick question about like where the fuck this is from, because that could not more obviously be the live action Dragon Ball folks. So like, where did you find this? The live action Dragon Ball movie PSP game? I have to Google something urgently. Hang on. Dragon Ball Evolution PSP. Please let it look as shitty as I hope it does. Please, please, let it look as awful as I hope it does. Oh, it looks alright. That looks fine. It's inoffensive. That's... Oh, wait, hang on. It's a fighting game. Isn't that something? The game was a reskin of one of the other fighters. Huh. How about that? You know, that's... Wait, hang on. Really good picture. Oh my god. I love learning things. I love having finite knowledge and having the opportunity to continue expanding it. I love being able to participate and learn new things. Hang on, Cypress just sent me another screenshot from the game. Look, it's kind of incredible too, because like this is actually like art. Like it's supposed to be. I reckon like it. This is like still handed. This is still like drawn. It's not just like Photoshop effects on top of the. Well, no, it can't be. It's pretty much mostly Photoshop effects, but it's like a little bit hand drawn in some places. Like they have put a surprising amount of effort into this. The Gollum game wishes it had this kind of swagger to it. He looks like he's supposed to be in one of the new Superman movies with Henry Cavill. That's exactly what this looks like. You're so on the ball with that. Hello, Renan Magritte. All right. Actually, since Cypress uploaded this one, hang on. Cypress recently debuted a really cool new model. So I've got an idea for how to arrange this. Cypress gets to shoot me today. All right. All right, we need a vector layer for this. I know in this situation, I probably shouldn't be smiling, but I feel like it adds the comedy of the scene. They didn't have like enough money to budget for like an actual surprise-looking sprite. The Shin Budokai games were the base for this. Oh, okay, that might actually be kind of gas then. Like that, there might be hope for this game yet. Man who got shot. What are you gonna do? Shoot me? Using a Dragon Ball game as a base for a Dragon Ball game, just like real life. There is a sort of poetic justice to it, isn't there? Literally reskinned for American audiences. Yeah, they took Goku out back behind the restaurant and they peeled him alive. You know for sure, bro was gonna go meet with King Kai that day. Or I don't know if Shin Budokai came out in America prior to this game. I kind of hope it does. I listen. I want us to be able to slander this as much as possible. All right. Listen, nobody's gonna say that the Dragon Ball Evolution game was their favorite game ever made, right? Statistically speaking, most people have a favorite game. I don't think that game is gonna like at least for the channel audience. I don't think that's gonna be or anybody who ever watches this VOD. I don't think that's gonna be like they are not in our presence. I don't believe. And as the Dragon Ball Evolution fan in the room with us right now, imagine if you managed to net the one person who does that. Yo, if anybody hit me up though, I want to like talk to you. I want to understand your. I want to hear your thoughts on this. If there is a person out there who thinks who has played the Dragon Ball Evolution game and thinks it's fire, hit me up, blow up my line. Let me know immediately, post haste. I need to like do a podcast with you or something. You're just such a fascinating specimen to me. There's some Dragon Ball fan out there who's only seen Evolution and it's their favorite. Yeah, we're niche posting out here. Narrowcasting, I think, whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. Real Dragon Ball Evolution fans have never actually seen it or played the game. Yeah. What's that one phrase? Like, I would never be part of a club that would have me as its member. I think it's very much one of those situations. This snout needs to be longer. Hang on, let me see if I can find something real quick. Anyway, so this meme is leading up to the Pabs visual novel, right? There is no Pabs visual novel. At least there won't be anytime soon. I should have known that it was weird the meme stream was on a Thursday. Yeah, I genuinely needed the extra time to finish the video. It was like down to the wire. Much like the auction itself, it was very much like a very like needed every single made every single second count. I will always forgive artists for taking it to the last second when they put their stuff up for free. You know what? That's fair. That's a very generous attitude to have, and I will always appreciate it. Oh my god, the jacket even kind of fits. I really lucked out with this one. I was gonna say in general because I'm also a huge procrastinator, but then I remembered games with massive delay day one patches exist. Mm-hmm. That's the issue as well. With some stuff you can't like actually test it until it's live. That's one of the issues that I ran into for the actual auction itself. Like the channel point redeem, I couldn't actually test too easily because you can't test channel point redeems when you're not live. You need to like actually be live to test channel point stuff out. So I tried to do that, and it didn't really work out. But you know, it worked out one way or another. Yeah, listen, it got there. I'm fucking up my own thesis of like you can cut corners as an artist as long as you don't say anything. This is just like behind the scenes stuff, but I really gotta like stop peeling back the curtain so frequently. It mostly worked. What really pisses me off is that immediately after the stream ended, I did think of a way to like circumvent like half of the problems, and that made me angrier than anything else. I'm glad you all enjoyed it, though. I really am glad everybody had a good time with it. That's all I really could have asked for. Yeah. Something hindsight is 2020, huh? Hang on, I think I may need to make Cypress's face like taller, if that makes sense. Hold on. I know exactly what this needs. Save me, free transform tool, save me. I know the free transform tool does have its fair share of credit, but I feel like we still don't gas it up nearly enough for all that it's done for us. Free transform, my friend, my enemy, my ruiner of pixels. Unless I'm working on a vector layer like this one is, in which case it's fine. That's like another one of the big benefits of like working in vector layers is that no matter how much you squish and stretch it and maul it, it's always fine. It's always like not even an issue. Sadly, that also seems to be a problem for the liquefy tool, but it is what it is. Also, this gun is kind of a cool prop. What's crazy about Dragon Ball Evolution is that it actually had some pretty fascinating like prop design and set design, as far as like from the pictures that I've seen of it. But it was for Dragon Ball Evolution. What was that one phrase like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic? It felt a little bit like that. It was almost all practical effects. That's crazy. I love that. We used to make fun of Dragon Ball Evolution, but I'm starting to understand the reason to put more respect on its name. Like I get it now. Is it good? Maybe not. But does it have things that are praiseworthy? Does it have things that are impressive about it? It certainly does. Well, let's not go that far, Common. We are not fans. We are non-haters. We are apathetic to it. We see the good points and the bad points of it. Until I actually watch the movie myself, I am not gonna do. I am not gonna go ahead and say it's good. It is not good. It is noble. I think that's the best way to put it. I wonder what gun this gun is based off of. I always wonder that when I see like what do you call? It's good in my head. Valid, I guess. I could I completely forgot to draw the arm here, huh? My fault. I might also just make Cypress just a tiny bit smaller. Just so the gun hand is a little bit more in proportion. Imagine that I'm on like a step ladder or something in this scene as well. Harmless. Like Homestuck? Exactly like Homestuck. Or even Rayman. Yeah, Cypress Rayman mode. Yeah, same brain. Did you ever see that post where somebody showed how a lot of fake guns in shows are one model of a repainted Nerf gun? I feel like I've heard of that post, but I have not actually confirmed it with my own eyes. There we go. Let me actually bump up the visibility on this because I had. Is it just like a solid block of metal there? That's kind of cool. Yeah. I used to really like Nerf guns as a kid. I was a huge fan of them. My dream was to be able to hold like one of those like big like Vulcan Nerf guns with like one hand. So I kept trying to like train to be able to do that. The world's most solid gun. Mm-hmm. They made this thing. They bust. They the Shinzo Abe guy made a model of this gun before he settled on his magnum opus. Listen, whatever gets you to that workout goal, right? Whoops. I remember this one guy. I saw like this conversation on Twitter where somebody, this one guy was like talking about how just running around with his daughters, playing with his kids, got him to be like surprisingly buff because he just keeps picking up his kids, bringing them around like sacks of potatoes, and so now he's just like surprisingly built off of that. I don't know. I think doing something crazy, but like having a feat of strength every now and again, I think is good for you. Really pushing your own limits and trying to override your own rules and limitations. I think like every once in a while, like maybe once every 3 years or so, is good for you. It gives you like a chance to like tell a story. Like, yeah, I did all that. Children, the perfect strength training tool. God, yeah. I wonder if there's like a dude who like worked at a farm and got surprisingly buff off of it because he just kept needing to like lift a goat or something. But like the goat got bigger every day, so eventually the dude just was able to lift like 100 kilos just off of like lifting a single goat, like on the daily. I think that's most farm people's stories. That wouldn't surprise me. You know, I talked I we often think it's quite difficult to create something, right? A drawing, music, a live stream, an Ace Attorney parody video that's about like 10 minutes of runtime. But I think one of the hardest things you can do is like actually move the earth and like the world around you. So for that, I think farmers are just absolutely cracked. Okay. Muy bien, muy bien. God, Cypress, your new model kicks so much ass. Like this looks so cool. I love seeing when people play around with their models a lot because that's also how I have like a lot of fun with my own model. So whenever I see people trying out new model styles or new kind of identities, new sorts of things like that, it always makes me very happy. I'm like, yes, yes, keep going. Push your own limits. I remember the other day I saw like this one. I wanted something with more wonkier colors, but similar to Live 2D 2.0 model. Yeah, though the new colors are very cool. I really like the eyes, especially. How do I put it? It's like loud, but not like discordant. It all flows together very well. So I think you did a great job with the colors. It's loud but not noisy, if that makes sense. Harmoniously bright. Exactly, exactly. That's a great way to put it. Okay, then grab this other one here. Okay, and then I think there's also like some. You can also do something like this for the tail. Whoop! Hang on. I want to look at this one just for a minute. It's kind of cracking me up. All right, all right, all right. Wait, where'd my Sona profile go? Oh, there it is. Okay, now the draw strength for the hoodie. I also need to color in the gun, but that's fine. We can just use like a gunmetal color. It's crazy how the CSP let you save palettes. I mean, probably, but I find it much easier to just like Spider-Man my way across like a few different canvases at a time. The kind of a bummer about CSP is that some of the functions that you think it would have doesn't have, but some of the functions that you wouldn't think of needing, it probably does. And like if you try those functions, you'll probably benefit quite greatly. But I do things my own way. I have to follow my own path in life. Spider Pabs, Spider Pabs. Yeah. After Spider Verse Across the Spider Verse dropped, I remember making a joke that my Spider Sona's name would be the Screaming Spider, on account of the fact that I'm afraid of heights, and I would not be very good at web swinging. Like, could you imagine if like your universe is Spider Man? Instead of like swinging around on the web, was like, "Whoa, a bad guy," and then he just like, starts jogging. Like that one of those videos of like the one homie who doesn't have a car leaving the function. It would be exactly like that. Just a minimal amount of shading. Okay. Good news is that Cypress completely covers up the Dragon Ball Evolution Bulma, so we don't have to worry about her. We do have to, however, worry about Goku. It's me, Goku. I wonder if perhaps we might just be able to kind of like Pabs with evolution hair? God. I did actually not evolution hair technically. Technically Hunter x Hunter hair. I remember for one of the schedules for one of the like weeklies. Hold up. I'm gonna put like everything in a folder so that we can all shut it off all at once and see what this looks like with the liquify tool. All right. We have fun here. All right, let's actually, you know what? Let me copy this one. And then we can just like bring back the original. Oh, I need I need to breathe. Brother, what is that shirt? Like, if I didn't know any... Is this guy wearing, like, 3 shirts? Okay, we got the overshirt, we got the undershirt, and I see very clearly an additional black band indicating that there is yet an overshirt for the undershirt under the overshirt. Vas a estar sancochado, muchacho. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. We tried to push inward, and very obviously that worked excellently, but it's not what we were looking for. So we're gonna push outward. Just kind of get him gone, if at all humanly possible. Bye, Goku! See you later! My area of effect, yeah. I'm activating Infinite Void right here. And what the hell? I think we can actually leverage some of what we have over here. Cypress, thank you very much for clipping that as well. I really appreciate it. Listen, if we just kind of copy some of the stuff back here, like some of the colors, basically. And then, hang on. We just kind of... Oh, God, that looks really bad. When he... Find yourself a guy who can crane his neck like this. Bro got straight up slurped. Alright, and then we just kind of tactically remove a section of this. And then I think if maybe we, like... Could we not maybe also apply a similar technique? No, that's not going to work. It still looks a little out of place. I think it needs to be, like, weathered or something. Hang on, maybe if I, like, lower the saturation of it and the luminosity just a tiny, just like a smidge. Just, like, knock it down just a single peg. And then what we might be able to do, actually, we might be able to try, like, a multi-step kind of process wherein... Hang on. If we add a little bit of the trees, like right here, I think we're going places. All right, check this out. First, let's get a. Hang on, where's? Oh, there we go. Now let's clear that area up just a tiny bit, and then techniques evolving. Yeah, that's the effect of coming into close contact with Dragon Ball Evolution. I wasn't supposed to tell you guys this, but the Dragon Ball Evolution being a bad movie is in fact a government psyop just to make sure that nobody can access its evolution enhancing effects. You will be a literal changed person by the time the movie's runtime is over. The evolved rice. Alright, maybe we just kind of increase the size of this. Wait a minute, we could just like make this entire area trees. Why am I fucking around with like this wooden timber thing? Damn, I'm dumb. Nature has reclaimed the earth. Yeah, that works. That works. God, this is so dumb. Graphic design well and truly is my burden. Alright. So here's what we're gonna do. I genuinely, back when I first laid eyes on this, I genuinely thought this was like a collaboration for like a shitty mobile game for some reason. Like I straight up thought that this was like for a DayZ campaign or something. As if they're like failing to hang on. Oh, I know what to do. Like it genuinely has like the graphical art style of like a cheap ass pump and dump mobile port game. Not even mobile port, like a straight up mobile game that was never meant to like have many users. It's just like there to like clog the app store. You know the times I'm talking about. Like you ever look at a game on the app store and you think to yourself, why do you exist? Why are you like who permitted you sapience and to what effect? I have seen some mobile games whose reason to be is about as shallow as as shallow as the water a snail would drown in. Yeah, they'll put fucking anything on the App Store. Hell, they'll put Tumblr on the App Store. That should tell you everything you need to know. Goku, we're under fucking attack, my lord. I can't do a Goku voice. My register does not go that high. God, that must be what like Frieza's life must have been after he got resurrected. Like from what I saw from Broly, Frieza's like now back to his like stupid evil empire grind set, right? Like that's just that he's just like doing that shit again. He has learned zero lessons, from what I understand. Which is almost funnier, I think. Like, bro got rest for a once in a lifetime tournament, and like after he got the right to stay alive, he was like, gonna go back to doing evil now. Dude knows what he's good at. He does one thing very well and does not let anybody distract him from that. Yeah, he's back to just trying to conquer the galaxy. He just doesn't fuck with Earth after getting his ass handed to him multiple times. By multiple people, might I add. Like, it really is hilarious that he got his ass beat for a straight hour during the Broly movie. I don't think he was even necessarily trying to buy time for Goku. He just kept taking it. Go, Broly, go give that old man a concussion. I mean, to be fair, if I was Freeze, I also wouldn't fuck with her after everything that's happened. Like, would Frieza even necessarily like want her? Like, obviously that's where the Dragon Balls are, and that's what he wanted. But every Saiyan in Hiffle cheering, watching the big screen of Broly handing it to Frieza. God. It's literally exactly the same as like when we see somebody beating Leffen's ass in a tournament. Like nobody knows who he is up against. We just know that we're cheering for that guy instead of Leffen. They have no idea who this roided up dude is. They just know he came from out of town. It turned Super Saiyan and is now giving Frieza the montage backshots of the century. Truly a legendary movie. No notes, perfectly executed. Wait, does he have... Okay, does Goku have, like, little dots? Like the ellipses before he says a gun? No, he just says a gun. I feel like I'm missing something from Cypress's face. Yeah, the markings. I'm like, hang on, this doesn't look finished. There we go. Now we're good. All right, save as Clip Studio format, and we are good. All right, what's next? What's next? Oh, we have one from Jay to put the rice beast in. Thank you for your submission. All right, this is going to be quite challenging because I don't know what the rice beast. The rice beast doesn't necessarily have a snout, so I think we might need to do a little bit of finagling for this one. Okay, so here's what I'm picturing, right? Instead of having it be like the snout centric thing, we have it be like a sort of like almost like fisheye effect. You could do a 2-for-1 and get those big ass ears out of my caption at the same time. True that. All right. Let me try something. Do I have... Is this big enough to add a... Here we go. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to fuck around with the perspective on this sphere here. Make it kind of like more egg-like. And then for the camera perspective... Okay, make this just a tiny bit smaller and then move it over here. Some days I do scared the shit out of me. Get out of here. Leave me alone. Get out. Not you, Cypress, you can say. But the rest of these need to fucking go. God, I hate that. No, I don't hate that game. I have no quarrel with that game, right? I don't have a reason to hate it. I don't particularly appreciate getting jump scared by it, though. Hmm. You know, actually, the other day I did think about a possibility of giving the rice piece the ability to have not pupils. What's the word? Sclera. Like the rice piece could just be like sitting over here. Like normally I would have it be like this if it was looking sideways, but then I thought about like trying to give it like, you know that thing that dogs do sometimes if they're looking off to the side and they have like. The only issue with that is that I would have to figure out how to do that for the. Like it doesn't show up very clearly because they have very like large. Actually, no, that kind of works actually. I don't know. We could have both easily. Yeah, the white of his eyes. They say if you can see the white of the eyes of a rice beast, you do have good luck for the next 5 days. So it's definitely in high demand as like as a sightseeing spot. I'm gonna give him rice beast like a very tiny nose. I don't know. How does that look? No, that doesn't quite jive. Actually, the nose might kind of be all right. I might do a little bit of fiddling with it once we have more. Here we go. Okay, so here's how this is gonna go. I need to find rice beasts. Actually, no, white beast is just. I called him white beast just now, didn't I? Rice beast is just kind of like a pure white color. So I guess it does make him a white beast. Downright vampiric. God, downright vampiric is one of those like phrases that like changed my brain chemistry. It's just such a good post. A little bit of procurement for my white eye and for my white ass. Just such a game changer of a post. I'm gonna need to turn off my computer's like night light for a minute, just so I can like get the full spec of like what colors I'm using right here, because it's gonna be. It might be a little bit like. Hang on. This might require a bit more of a delicate touch that I'm used to for meme redraws. All right. Here's how we're going to start. I'm going to grab a color like this around here, and then we're going to use the brush tool. It's a bit too harsh. We need lower density on the brush. Maybe like with the airbrush? Nah. Although maybe we got over ambitious with the color itself. Maybe using a more light color will be the way to go here. Hang on, I can use a gradient as well, right here. Not the right color for the gradient, hang on. I remember doing something similar to this at one time I modeled Rice Beast in Blender. That was such a fascinating experience. I still didn't know very much about Blender at the time, so it didn't come out exceedingly good. But it was fun to do. It's fun for me to just model a dude. Plus my Rice Beast has an attitude. Has anybody actually heard the part of that like freestyle rap like beyond that point? Like that's literally the only part of that Eminem rap that I know. And I think that's frankly all I need to know. It was just everything about it, right? The cadence. Do I need to? Yeah, I don't actually know anything more than that, and I'm fine with that. Yeah, I guess it's not required. It's not like required reading or anything. All right, we need to increase the brush density for the soft eraser here. And then what we can do is we can increase the hardness for this part. Eminem on the syllabus. Call that taking you to school. All right, and then maybe a little bit of something like this. That looks weird. Let's get rid of those two dots for the nose, maybe. Okay, this I'm liking though. Also, I have an idea actually for how we might be able to turn that around with the shadows on the face. So maybe the reason it failed wasn't because it was too indelicate the way we were handling it. I just think this looked like straight up Bingus. God, remember Bingus? That crazy son of a gun sure was naked for a cat. It's crazy how some cats are more naked looking than others. And I'm not even talking about like the cats necessarily looking like not even like hairless cats necessarily. I mean that's some like you look at a cat and you're like, that guy is clothed. That guy is naked. Like obviously, yes, the like patterns where they have like socks, so three-dimensional. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Brush density, increase that. Oh, I'm using the wrong type of brush. But actually that gives us like a nice texture. I like that. Hang on, maybe we can like leverage that a little bit. Just like this. Yeah. Got that computer graphic kind of texture density to it now. Speaking of which, I wanted to see what would happen if we try to use the Liquify tool on like this part here. Okay, that's actually pretty good. I like that. A whole new dimension of beast. This thing looks like... I don't even know what to say that this thing looks like. It's so cute. Oh, this part's missing something, though. Hang on. Although, hang on. I do like the idea of it having like a little bit of reflection of the fur in the eyes. Just maybe not like this. It needs a little bit more control to it. That's too small. Hang on. Instead of 10, just like 5 pixels shrinkage? Yeah, that'll do. We just do very soft on the airbrush. It's like this. Just a very small... It looks like puffed rice. Perfect. Then we hit it with a soft eraser a little bit. There we go. That gives it some like nice, wet-looking, huge eyes. Rice Piece, you're gonna look like a star. Yeah, there we go. That looks so clean. All right, so here we're gonna deploy very similar tricks to what we did with Goku. Phrases that I use if I'm a supervillain from Dragon Ball that thinks he's beaten Goku. Sadly, what I've done is just let him unlock a new, further stage in his training. Fool that I am. Tao Pai Pai when he thought he was that guy. I'm not gonna lie, out of all the, like, OG manga Dragon Ball villains, I do have, like, a very soft spot for Tao Pai Pai. I don't know, something about that guy just feels really cool. I think he was, like, one of the earliest villains to, like, represent, like, the peak of martial arts, right? Like, you know, Piccolo had all that bullshit with, like, magic and, like, being able to, like, generate monsters. That's cool, but, like, it's not martial arts. You know, the aliens were their whole can of beans. But Tao Pai Pai was literally just a guy who was really good at kung fu and was like a straight up hired assassin. Zero reason to like be that good at what he does, but is still one of the best to ever do it. Also, I do need to like figure out a way to put Pabs in the background as this guy over here. Oh, that's from the Rice Beast. Interesting. I will say one embarrassment that I did suffer as a child is that one time I got the name of a rather famous historical figure confused with Tao Pai Pai. So when I was talking to my friend about like Dragon Ball, I ended up referring to Tao Pai Pai as Chairman Pao. And boy, let me tell you, that created some real confusion real fast. Don't make the same mistakes that I do. Endeavor to be better. Ah. Yeah, that is honestly pretty solid. What kind of shop even is this? This looks like it might be a hunting lodge of some kind. This is not a vector layer. Let's fix that, shall we? Okay. We'll go back here. Have you guys been listening to any cool music lately? I've recently been listening to a few albums that I bought on Bandcamp Friday last week. And my favorite so far is the new album from Too Mellow, who my favorite track from that album is probably either the opening track or there's this one track that's about a guy who is trying to become like an occultist necromancer. And it is really funny. Too Mellow does very good. Obviously, like Too Mellow is just good at a lot of different kinds of music. But I find myself liking his like comedy tracks, the like ones where he has like a joke built into the track more than all the others. Like in Sounds of Tokyo to Future, for example, I really liked Pull Up, which was a really good, funny song to me. I should give myself hands or something. I don't know. This arm looks incomplete. Oh, I have tiny little baby man. Look at my tiny little hands. Oh, it's over. I'm I can't go on. Ay, ay, ay. My little T-Rex nubs. However will I get by? Alright, I think we're good. Alright. We'll save this as Clip Studio Paint format, please and thank you. Okay. Next up. Oh, Common also submitted one. Let's try and do that one. God damn, look at my owner's baby hands. Chat, is this real? I don't know why, but I think it would be really funny if the Rice Beast produced its own video content. It would be like the most kind of content mill, like Mr. Beast kind of bullshit. Like have you guys seen that one video that of like these two dudes who are doing like lore videos about mascot horror series? Yeah, Rice Beast TikToker era. Mm-hmm. You know, I haven't noticed it before, but this person's surprisingly short. I also never noticed a stained glass here. That's a very tasteful touch. All right, so for this one, it's got to be Tool in this. Who's like holding me, right? Like, I don't know who would be better suited for it. I can't think of anybody better suited for it. I mean, yeah. Tool is very kind trying to defend me in court like that. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say where I exactly stand with her. But I guess we're something like friends. Although maybe she'd be a little bit hesitant to call me that. I don't know. She's got this whole like warrior bravado thing going on. She was your lawyer. She respects your beef with her more than the legal system. Exactly. She knew that she would never be able to kick my ass again if I ended up in prison. Oh god, if I ended up going to prison in this timeline, it really would have ended up like in Yakuza 1 where she would be like straight up like the Majima to my Kiryu. She would have like been waiting this whole time for me to get out of jail just to beat my ass yet again. The one kind of imbalance, right, is that I made the right choice making Tool the Yakuza 0 Majima. I don't know how that's going to work for like the Yakuza series going forward. Because after that, Majima gets a lot more unhinged, and that's kind of almost like my territory. Yeah, Tool is definitely kind of supposed to be more of a straight man kind of character. Reverse your rules later, maybe? Huh. Well, I'm not going to be beating Yakuza 0 anytime soon, so I have plenty of time to think about it. That's a good news about it at least. Yeah, such is the case with well, not RPGs, but definitely like long form Let's Plays. Also, Tool would not be having this much problem with this because I am like I am technically I try not to like say and put myself down, but if I got thrown into the trash can, I would definitely go with the organic garbage. Oh god, I'm gonna have to draw my chancla with my dogs out all the way out. I'm the most compostable VTuber. Okay. We're gonna have to do something about the floor. Actually, hang on. Let me try something real quick. Not what I meant to do. Deselect this, please and thank you. Hmm. Modern problems require modern solutions. There we go. This way it's a little bit easier to get everybody's proportions right. Although this guy's like got straight up like saw trapped off. Poor guy. Habits of the best of us. In terms of fashion sense, I think Tool is definitely. I think we both have or wear very like summery clothing, but Tool seems to prefer shorts for some reason. As for me, I like rolling up my clothing. Rolled up sleeves, rolled up cuffs, that sort of thing. I don't know, something about fastening it just makes it feel more secure. Okay, then over here. There we go. God, I remember there used to be a rich scene around redrawing different characters from your fandom in these kinds of poses. That's more of like a trend based thing nowadays. You know, time was you could always find like some kind of like Sekai Sensen ending parody for whatever fandom you were in. You could find like the caramel dancing for like whatever fandom you were in. It was almost like a sort of rationing thing, right? Like, all right, each one of you gets one to do with as you please. Hmm. Although, as always, I do have a pretty soft spot for um, AMVs. I don't know. There's just something timeless about them. Action set to music, it just really doesn't get any better than that. Okay, and then chunk over here. We can cover up that lug using my arm. Today I am a genius. God. The other day I was at the pharmacy getting a drink to go with my meal, right? The drugstore, I should say, rather than the pharmacy, to get a drink to go with my meal. And I found out that for some reason they've started stocking up on these gallon jugs of like iced tea and lemonade. And I acted on that transaction. I got myself a bottle of lemonade and a bottle of iced tea each, about the size of my head. I do not regret it. I love beverage. All right. The good news is that now what we can do is we can very quickly grab. You do love a beverage. I refuse. Well, I mean, You know what? Yeah, I don't like being dehydrated. I don't think anybody particularly enjoys the experience of being dehydrated. I don't know. Maybe some sick freak out there likes not having enough water to make their body function. Just kind of clown carring all of these little vector line points into one place. I'm not gonna think about. I'm not gonna think about that thing you just said, Common. I think that's their business, not mine. And I don't know. That seems like a particularly dangerous one, doesn't it? You'd have to be very careful with what you do. Well, I guess that's true of most most out there sort of hobbies or interests rather. But like I said, we don't need to dwell on that too much. Perhaps it could be faked. You're telling me that somebody's out here pretending to be dehydrated for clout? I mean, I don't know. With your imagination, you can do anything. Do you think that's what people thought that those guys who ran that Boston Marathon where everybody almost died? That's kind of like how their thought process towards the whole thing. Like, those big pansies are just faking it. Meanwhile, they're feeding some dude like a metric gallon of strychnine. I'm telling you, nothing makes me more insane than knowing that you could just like get prescribed strychnine. That's true. Do take a minute to the dehydration scandal explained. Speaking of water, I'm gonna go get some. I have been feeling a little bit thirsty. Let me send you guys to the BRB screen. All right, I've got my drink of water here. Kind of think of it, a dehydration thing would be pretty easy to action now that I have like I no longer have channel points. Pabs, please have fluids with you. I just got some. Don't you worry. I am hydrated. Okay, there we go. And now we just need to slightly put this person's head out of the way. There we go. Let's grab the blue first. Pushing them into the bucket. Mm-hmm. Y'all are getting washed old clothes style today. I'm gonna use one of those like. You know what? Come to think of it, I don't think I've actually felt one of those or held one of those like really old school like washing pans. You know those ones that have like that you could use as like a musical instrument, the ones that have all those ridges. I don't think I've actually held one of those before. I've only ever known machine washing. For some reason, I imagine Tool also had like a little top showing to her like how you have her erase. I thought she had like froth waves. Nah, she's just flat up there. A washboard? That's what its name is. Guy who fucking struggles to remember what the hell a washboard is. I may be washed, but I'm certainly not bored. Yeah, old flat top. I have been thinking about like what tools human Sona would look like. I don't think she'd be particularly interested in having one. But I did think about like the different things I could do with her, a human Sona, and like one of the ideas was to just like have like a sort of Vash the Stampede kind of straight up sticking up hairstyle. With like the hood kind of like going all the way up to her nose or something. Kind of like that. But that's only one concept. I've also had ideas about like giving her like a proper bucket hat. Vash the Stampede, but he's so fucking angry at you. Hey, how much do you know about the plot of Trigun? Because depending on your answer, there might be something really funny for you to learn about the plot of Trigun today. Yo, double bucket. Yeah. She finally found the lid for the top part of her head. Oh no, I thought he was like a jolly guy who was hiding his sadness. Oh, he is. He is. It's just funny because there is also a guy who looks exactly like Vash, but he's so mad at you in Trigun. That is very much Vash's deal. Is that he is silly, but he does have a sadness to him. But yeah, there is also another guy running around who looks exactly like Vash, but just like really fucking angry. Yeah, Knives. Okay, I was wondering if you did know Knives. Yeah, no Knives. What if Vash was fucked up and evil? I wonder how much of the plot of Trigun the manga had planned in advance, because some of the stuff feels like the evil twin thing feels very much like something that would have. The evil twin gambit is kind of interesting because either it means that the writer had to use it, deploy it at the very last second, or it means that it was in the works since the beginning. And I don't know which one it is for Trigun. Me in the kitchen. I know a little something about knives. Me on Scott Pilgrim trivia night as well. Okay, then we have the cuffs for the jeans. There we go. I mean, if it's in the work since the beginning, I usually go with whether or not there was any foreshadowing. That's true. Me at the Bull Run, I know a little something about stampedes. Me at Yellowstone, I know a little bit something about Wolf Woods. One thing I know about storytellers is that they love giving a little crumb of hint to what's coming if they know. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I've read up to like Trigun Maximum, but I don't remember seeing much discussion of knives up until the point where like Vash had to like step in to beat his ass. Or like to prevent him from blowing up that town. I don't know. It's been a minute since I read Trigun bits. Sometimes I am tempted to get an e-reader because that way I can like store like all the different like comics and books and whatnot Bit of a throwback meme adaptation here. That's right. An oldie but a goodie. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think something about this looks right. When it happens to we pointed in Bojack at the stuff we put in beforehand. That's true. That's true. Usually writers do feel very like as a writer, you feel very proud whenever somebody notices how clever you are. I don't know how else to put it. Like it just feels good to know people are picking up on what you're putting down. And that because it means that you've written the story competently. Hang on, I think I might have. Did I fuck up the garbage can here? Background warping like it's a booty filler. It's fine. I have a plan. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to grab, using the marquee tool, just this part here, from the original image, and then boom. I believe this is taken at an art college, so we can just say it's art and be done with it. That or these two just decided to be the funniest people ever, just at random one day. Wait, this is a Canadian college specifically, but because you can see the BMO Finance Group name back here. That explains a lot about the vibes of this place. Wait a minute. Oh, shoot, hang on. Oh, we're fine. Hang on. I just noticed a little hiccup in my plans here, but that's fine. Easily corrected. Easily corrected. All right, I think that's this one ready and done. All right, what is next? I think we still had a few from Bunny that we haven't gone through. Yeah, we've got a few from Bunny. In the bag, or perhaps the bin. All right. This one I'm just going to cover over the text and just remake it later. Okay, Amazon Kindle seems to be going for $100 to $200 USD. Again, that's the thing, right? I'm not questioning whether an e-reader would be useful. I'm questioning whether it's worth the investment, given that I might not like pick up and use it frequently. If going for a Kindle, I recommend the Kindle Fire tablet off of eBay. Ooh, I haven't considered that. That's true. The refurbished Kindle market might be my silver bullet in this equation. They're significantly cheaper but still get e-reader. The electronic bay are... We have not yet sailed upon the seas of that place. But I have heard many stories of the scoundrels who peddle their wares there. Did we already have Talk Like a Pirate Day? I remember there was like an international Talk Like a Pirate Day. When is that? This year. Okay, a periodic holiday created in 1995 proclaimed September 19th each year as the day when everyone in the world should talk like a pirate. Huh, okay. It's crazy how the guy on the left here in this Wikipedia page looks almost exactly like a much happier and healthier Harrier Dubois. What is the difference between a Kindle Fire and just using a Kindle app on the more conventional tablet? That's an interesting question. I hadn't thought about that. Also, these two are apparently called Captain Slappy and Old Chum Bucket, who are the founders of Talk Like a Pirate Day. History. The holiday resulted from a sports injury. During a racquetball game between Summers and Bauer, one of them in pain said, "Arr!" and the idea was born. The game took place on June 6, 1995, but out of respect for the observance of the Normandy landings, they chose Summers' ex-wife's birthday, as it would be easy for him to remember. Oof! That is Harrier Dubois coded. The Fire is more tablet than e-reader. Huh. An e-reader uses a different backlight. That makes sense. I did always notice that e-readers had like some kind of texture to their screens that didn't seem like very normal, much like the one for conventional tablets. So it makes sense that they got like a different kind of setup going on. It's supposedly better for the eyes and can only run books. Those damn contraptions. That's true. I don't know if I would need to get like a specialized tablet or contraption for like comic e-readers. I reckon it should probably still work fine. And if not, we can always find a way to make it work. I mean, how hard could it be to jailbreak a freaking Amazon product? Be real with me. How hard could it possibly be to outwit the software of an Amazon product? Getting the carving books into tablets to save money? God. Guy who gets into carving books into tablets to save money, but quickly realizes that he's racking up way too many expenses on his Clay account. And he's like, my Talos, this can't be happening. I could see somebody having like a Fiverr for like, what do you call, I guess it'd be like novelty Sumerian cuneiform tablet messages. He's the ancestor of the guy who takes screenshots of movies to pirate them. Honestly, I am kind of curious about like ancient piracy methods. You know, like before we had like videotapes, how did people pirate movies exactly? Like, you had like videos you could record on cassette, obviously. But what about before that? Like, there surely there must have been a time period, a brief window in time when after movies were made, but before we had the convenient means to like do that. I don't know. People used to record vinyls on X-rays and stuff, right? Yeah, I think that was like a big thing, in particularly in like one of the either I think it was Eastern Germany or something. That used to be like a very popular tactic because they didn't have a whole lot of vinyl for making records, but you know they had X-ray materials to go around for sure. Although it'd be rather messed up if the opposite situation were the case for a country. They're like, oh my god, we gotta offload all these Daft Punk records. We have no operating hospitals that can treat bone injuries. I don't even like Mother Mother. I don't know why I got the vinyl for this album. Who would value entertainment over healthcare? Whew. That I guess that is a very difficult question. The long con to create a fake monastery just to get cheap books realizes a bit too late that the plan was not well thought out. God, could you imagine being that guy? Like, fuck my life. I just wanted to like put a monastery together because I was the only idiot dipshit in my village who could read, and I wanted to read something other than like boring ass books. But now look at me. I got a house full of monks. My library is nothing but copies of the Bible. There's some motherfucker in my garden who keeps crossbreeding peas for some reason. What is that guy's deal? I will say, jokes about Gregor Mendel never get old to me. God, yeah. I got the Spanish Inquisition on my ass. It is so fucked in here. The tonsured rice piece? Hang on, what would that look like? Gregor Mendel was a monk, yeah. Pretty famously, he was a monk, yeah. There we go, tonsured rice piece. He reminds me a little bit of that one Tamagotchi guy, the one with like the yellow body but the dark blue hat. Is that not what you were expecting a tonsured rice piece to look like? I forget. Is tonsured just not just shaving the top part of the head, just a little off the top? Added this into a clip where the editing teases audio for whatever drawing the rice piece starts to look like a little like you're going for an Among Us crewmate. I was imagining him with human hair. Hang on, so maybe more like. Hang on, let me get a picture of a monk's tonsure. There we go. This might be the worst side quest we've embarked on, but I cannot stop laughing. It looks kind of fresh, I'm not gonna lie. I could see this working. Like, it's almost like the hair that I have in human form, but, you know, it's like rice piece size, and also it's for, like, pious reasons. If rice piece had a tonsure, would it look more like this? Hang on. Like this or like this? Vote now on your phones. Brother rice piece. You know, the rice piece does have some rather monk-like qualities to it. I don't think I feel like I can't explain it, but I feel like I could. What if rice piece was Catholic? It could be. Well, I don't know. We mentioned during the trial. The judge said some shit during the trial that implies that I don't have like humanity to me. So I don't know what the general practices for things that aren't human that want to be Christian. Rice Beast Chia Pet, that would go hard. Honestly, I think the Rice Beast Chia Pet would be go crazy. Forget that they decide if animals have souls or not. I think animals do have souls, but like they are incapable of sin. I'm not sure. I'm not up to date with my dogma or my animal ma. I don't think that's specifically limited to dogs. I will say a joke that I am unfortunately tempted to bust out far too often is one that I read from the tabletop rulebook of the Fallout tabletop RPG. And unfortunately, it is like the joke is my karma ran over your dogma. And it is such a joke that you have to be very careful with because some people will take that shit seriously. But the wordplay is very, very attractive to me. I've seen somebody fail to make their own chia pet. So to work out, fail to make their own chia pet. So it'll work out if you try to make your own clay beast for a chia pet, and then it got mad moldy. Now, as tempting as that sounds, I'd rather not live with a mold infestation in my apartment. I know that's not the warrior's way. I know that's not how we usually do it, but I must be true to myself. I do not want to live with a mold infestation. Please stop bringing up White Beast. Guy who's forgotten what the name of that one energy drink he really likes is, but remembers its color. At the gas station. Actually, hang on. Let me see if I can't make myself like a little drop shadow or something. Because right now I'm blending too much into the grass. Ugh, this grass. Park camo Pabs. Yeah. I'm like one of those like animals that you have a hard time spotting in the forest because they have like a mottled brown coat. And like I suddenly move from a bench and somebody who didn't know I was there just jumps. Perfectly suited for suburban warfare. What's suburban warfare? What, are we gonna have drive-bys from the friggin' HOA now? The codec call. I think now I might be biased for this, but I think I would make a great Metal Gear Solid boss fight. Hell, my name fits into the loosely fits into the Death Stranding naming scheme. Snake, use your park camo to sneak past that suburban mob. Remember, Snake, tell us about your boss fight qualities. I grab my own bag of rice and I hit you over the head with it. And you have to dodge quickly. All right. I think. Oh, wait, the text. That's right. You Gothic Vault should be good enough. It's like pocket sand, but with rice. I did actually think about like have an idea for like a. I read a little bit about like Jujutsu Kaisen, like the main expansions, and I did get an idea for like what my own domain expansion would be like. I would just like carry around a huge bale of rice, like one of those plastic buckets of rice. I would call it a rice bale. I would use that as a sort of mace or hammer, some kind of like a meteor hammer, if you will. And Again, I would either hit people with it, or I would... Hang on. Did it have a dash originally? I think it had a dash. But yeah, my domain extension would just be trapping whoever I don't like in the bale of rice, and they have to survive green entrapment or else. Mad as fuck after dodging a Pabs head slam right into a summoned Rice Beast, taking my last bit of health. God, I could technically turn Rice Beast into a landmine kind of situation, huh? It's like a Princess Peach kind of thing where like I can pull them back out of the ground, or like a Pikmin kind of situation. All right, this was pretty much done. Let's move on to the next one. Super Boss's Pab's final attack is to hurl you into the sun. Yeah, it's exactly like that one fight from Everhood, except like I am like sumo pushing you towards the sun on like a Katamari style rainbow road thing. And you better start pushing back, or else you're going to be feeling the heat. Okay, we did have this one from Jupiter, which I kind of wanted to take a crack at. First day is a 2nd century war. Actually, you know what? Let's do this full thing. I'm going to read out the entire First day is a 2nd century warlord story. First day is a 2nd century warlord. I have my men tie branches to their horses' tails to stir up dust and make it look like there's a lot of us. But I forget it just rained, so there isn't any dust, and the enemy can clearly see there's like 20 of us all spread out in a line. Second day as a 2nd century warlord. I bribe a bunch of kids to start singing a nursery rhyme I carefully crafted to spread misinformation and further my strategic ends. But they change the lyrics to be about poop, and the enemy isn't misdirected at all. Third day as a 2nd century warlord. I lure my enemy into a narrow valley and send a team of archers to shoot them from the high ground. But there was a feral hog napping on the trail up to the overlook, and they couldn't decide whether to try and shoot it or just go around. And by the time the hog woke up and left on its own, the enemy had already passed safely below. Fourth day as a 2nd century warlord. We attempt to join a battle on the side of the guy we want to ally with. But he and the guy he's fighting have really similar names, and it's finally Dusty, and I misread the standards and attacked the wrong guy. So now we're stuck with this total loser of a liege lord, and because how the fuck do you explain that after a battle? Fifth day is a 2nd century warlord, and some sort of wizard wanders into camp. My loser liege lord wants to execute him for being a wizard, but I convince him to let the wizard stay because I want to do more weather-based strategies, and I'm pretty sure having a camp wizard can help with that. After the welcome to the team banquet, the wizard steals half the treasury and my liege lord's wife and leaves. Sixth day as a 2nd century warlord. My loser liege lord sends me to reinforce a city that he's taken. But in the confusion of leaving, I forgot to have take the token that would have gotten us into the city. So my men have to go wait outside the city walls for like 8 hours while I ride back to get it. Seventh day as a 2nd century warlord, and my loser liege lord finally joins me in the city. Turns out he's actually a pretty cool guy. He isn't even that mad at me for letting the wizard steal his wife. I decide to shoot my shot, but I'm really nervous, and I keep on stalling because what if I mess up our relationship and by extension jeopardize the security of my men? And eventually he just says goodnight and goes back to his room, where an assassin is in the process of setting up to kill him. 8th day is a 2nd century warlord, and my loser liege lord tells me to fake defect to his rival warlord, the one I originally wanted to ally with, to find out if he was the one who sent the assassin and why. But my whole way over to the rival warlord, I'm worried that this has something to do with the wizard thing or how awkward I made it last night. 9th day as a 2nd century warlord. We are like halfway through this. 9th day as a 2nd century warlord. I try to tactfully ask my fake liege lord if he sent the assassin to kill my loser liege lord. Turns out, the idea of using an assassin never occurred to him. But now that I've suggested it, he's like really into it. In order to save my loser liege lord, I volunteered to be the one to kill him. 10th day as a 2nd century warlord. On my way back to my loser liege lord city, I realize I won't be able to collect my men from my fake liege lord until I bring back my loser liege lord's head. This would have been a great thing to think of before I got myself into this situation. I go back to my loser liege lord and ask him to rescue my men, and he tells me that if he could sack my fake liege lord's camp, he already would have. That doesn't change the fact that my men are still trapped. They're prisoners even. I go back to my room to sulk. 11th day as a 2nd century warlord, I find a little caged pigeon in the rafters of my loser liege lord's room, and deduce it belonged to the assassin. Without asking permission or telling my loser liege lord goodbye, I let the pigeon loose and follow it north. Don't ask what I was doing in my loser liege lord's room, it's not important. 12th day as a 2nd century warlord, I disguise myself as a wizard and enter the camp of the coalition leader the pigeon led me to. In the middle of my little sleight of hand performance, I make eye contact with the coalition's leader second in command. It's the wizard that stole my loser liege lord's wife. After the banquet, I corner the fake wizard and ask him what the fuck is going on, and he just says, "Wouldn't you like to know?" and leaves. I don't know what to say so I just let him go. 13th day as a 2nd century warlord. I'm honestly so sick of not knowing what's going on. So I adjust my wizard costume to passively disguise myself as a woman and sneak into the women's area of the camp, where sure enough my loser liege lord's wife is. I ask her what she's doing here, and she tells me the fake wizard overheard her singing a poem that she overheard on the street, not knowing it contains the coalition leader's formation's weaknesses. The fake wizard kidnapped her and assigned an assassin to kill her husband before they figured out the poem's significance. She shares this first couplet with me, but I'm discovered and thrown out before she can share any more. But she doesn't need to. Through a bizarre coincidence of homophones, it's the poop version of my misinformation nursery rhyme. 14th day as a 2nd century warlord, I go back to my loser liege lord and tell him everything, urging him to join with my fake liege lord to attack the coalition leader according to the weaknesses in the nursery rhyme. He tells me, frankly, that he doesn't trust me anymore. I ask him to execute me if that's really true because I cannot bear to live if I cannot protect him and I cannot protect my men. He agrees to attack the coalition leader. 15th day as a 2nd century warlord. Due to the information in the nursery rhyme and thanks to my loser liege lord reminding me of the weather conditions multiple times while planning our battle strategy, our alliance carries the day. My loser liege lord gets his wife back. My men tell me that our fake liege lord actually treated them really well and they'd like to stay with him if I don't mind. I do mind, now that neither the men I love or the man I love have any use for me, but I don't tell them that. 16th day as a 2nd century warlord, I'm preparing to leave to I don't know where, maybe to try to become a wizard for real. When my loser liege lord stops me and asks me where I'm going. He says he had hoped that I would continue to work as his advisor. I was unaware I was his advisor in the first place. I agree, and he tells me he's truly honored to have me in his service at last. He has known I am a rare and talented man with a strategic intelligence far above his, ever since the day he witnessed me trying branches to my horse's tails in 6 inches of mud and could not for the life of him figure out why. This has been my first day as a 2nd century warlord. Thank you very much. Did anyone else interpret the warlord as a time traveler, or was that just me? I thought he was a time traveler as well. I just thought he was but it's equally possible he's just genuinely some dipshit from the 2nd century. Alright, in any case, this is gonna have to be a mini comic. So maybe hang on. 2,000 by... No. We'll do 3,000 by... I'm gonna say 1,800. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, this is just genuine 2nd century dipshit already. This is the pure uncut stuff. This is the kind of shit that they would have made you Village Fool for back in the day. It's much harder to make the cut now. Yeah, developments of buffoonery have come a surprising way since the 2nd century. Now it's not enough that you need to be a buffoon. Now you need to be like an actual Fucking idiot. Tool feels like she would be the wizard. I feel like Tool would be like the leader that I originally tried to ally myself with or something. I don't know who the loser liege lord would be in this scenario. Are we locking in, boss? Yes, boss! We're locking in now. I did spend like 5 minutes just reading out the 2nd century warlord post sequence. But I am now locked in. All right, I need a couple of resources for this one before we continue. I need hang on, what did Zhuge Liang look like? Zhuge Liang was the motherfucker who locked in the hardest of anybody ever in the history of Earth. Not the Dynasty Warriors one, just the actual one. Okay. I need an alternate portrait of this guy. I need to know what those fancy hats that Chinese military generals always wore looked like. I could probably just Google that actually. I need a fan and a hat of the ancient Chinese general. Not this one. Something like this. I don't know. What kind of hats do they have in ancient China? Oh, maybe it's this one. Hang on. Oh, yeah. Now this is a hat you don't fuck with. Good sir, I am taking your hat. I don't think... Come to think of it, I don't think the... What do you think, classical painters used to do instead of flipping the canvas? Nowadays, if an art piece is not working out, you can flip the canvas and more or less bring it out from there. But what was it like in ancient times? What was the equivalent of that, do you think? Would you just hold the drawing up against the sun to kind of peer at it from the back? Is that how this would have worked? Brother, you just died back then. True that. Alright, copy image. Alright. First, let's make the actual drawing. Yeah, back in those days, if you got anything wrong, you just straight up died. Bone setting, your diet, which well you would rank water out of. Any of those you were not fully locked in, you died. That's just straight up how it was. Also, hang on. This guy doesn't specifically note that he was a Chinese 2nd century warlord. He just says 2nd century warlord, and we can piece it together from there. So maybe I should not appropriate Chinese general wear. Hang on, 2nd century warlord. Do we have any other examples of what that might have looked like? Okay, this is apparently from a gang called Warlord. Interesting ideas. What's a cool general hat from Ecuador? I don't think... The problem is that by the time Ecuador had generals, we were pretty much already westernized, so it would just look like a normal general hat. I could use a Panama hat, but... The warlord was described as Chinese by the poster elsewhere? Hang on, maybe we can find that somewhere. Well, let me reread the whole thing just to be sure. I'm fucking with you. Let's take a quick look at the post. Clearly Sia's nursery rhyme. Yeah, I don't think they actually ever mentioned it being like a Chinese warlord specifically. I just got that vibe from like everything that happened in there. Getting screwed over by your camp wizard is like a classic Chinese warlord blunder. Ah, screw it. I'm just taking this guy's hat. Or, hang on. Rotting around their blog like a truffle pig to find the warlord lore that I know is out there. Yeah. I'm trying to think of like what. Hang on. Prussian general hat. All right. Okay, we can't use the Prussian general hats, unfortunately. How about Mesopotamian general warrior hat? Or like really cool big helmet. I'm like struggling to find like a good one. Okay, the first result that I got from this one is like a common rider helmet, so I think I might as well just like I might do the Heathcliff thing and just give myself like a very generic helmet. That looks yeah, no, we're not doing that. Ah, fuck it. I don't need a hat. Let's be real. Who needs a hat? Let's get rid of these guys just real quick. Okay, then this other. Yeah, I'm just starting out yet. I haven't earned my hat yet. That happens towards the end of the story that was posted. Like once I formally get inducted into my loser liege lord's personal cadre, that's when I get my hat. But I have to earn it first. Okay, grab these here. Take these out. Okay. All right. Good. We have a strong basis for this first panel. Now, to reveal step 2 of my genius scheme, we will have to go to the asset store for Clip Studio Paint and find a horse brush for free, ideally. All right. Let's see here. Search for materials. There should be a brush that just like has the silhouettes of horses. Let's see. Popular. Okay, plenty of horse models. I don't see any horse brushes just yet. Maybe I try cavalry or something. You know, a word that always tripped me up was cavalier, because I always thought the cavalry had a second R in there somewhere, like cavalry, or something like that. I don't know. It always tripped me up how to spell that. All right, horse, and we can look for a brush. Okay, we have like 15th to 16th century European horses, but hang on, maybe that can work. Let me hang on. Let me see if I can't. These shits come in like 2nd century. All right. Then the next part of my genius scheme is that we're gonna find like a picture of like a plane or something. So for that, we're gonna go to Unsplash. So something like a meadow or a grassy plain. What's savanna? I think might be the word. Warlord's name is Huang Mu. Oh. Wait, is it? Or Huang Mi. Oh, okay. Wait, so it's like based on a real story or something? Because like a lot of that sounded like shit that might happen in like the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which is kind of like why I assumed it was what do you call Chinese. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Mobile typing lag is killing me. Oof. Pretty sure they just wrote that. That does make a lot of sense as well. Okay. We have the horse brush. Okay, hang on. How many guys did he say he had on his team? The original poster has the world as kind of like an OC. Interesting. There's like 20 of us all spread out in a line. I see, okay. Okay, increase this. And here's the clever part. We're going to make them kind of tiny and just have them be kind of spread out across the background here. Thankfully, it doesn't matter if I fuck up their order, so to speak. What's important is that we have like at least one clear horse silhouette. And then we're just gonna turn all these like pitch black. Or maybe, hang on, maybe like... Let me borrow this one here, and then we can maybe... Yeah, there we go. And we also make a lot of dust clouds. Hong Mi stylized as user, and he's like that all the time. Warlord failure, he's just like me for real. Alright, do I have like a cloud brush somewhere around here? For the dust clouds. Yeah, here we go. And actually, wait, hang on. Before we do that, we need to add like the branches to the back of like these guys' tails, and also paint in Pabs. Okay, then over here. Do you think like the horse would have gotten kind of pissed at somebody tying tails to its tail? Branches to its tail? I feel like if I was a horse, I would feel pretty undignified about the whole situation. Second century Pabs Lord? That's funny. My ass would not survive the second century warlord lifestyle, dude. I would for sure be executed for my insolence. Honestly, Huang Mi did some pretty baller shit. Like he says, they call him a warlord failure, and he is technically that. But also, like that, Huang Mi had some pretty baller moves. Like for example, saying like, "All right, if you can't trust me, might as well kill me." Right? That was a baller move. That was an absolutely baller move. Follow up where he kissed the loser leash lord. Let's go, Huang Mi, my man. Yeah. Maybe it's a sort of fake it till you make it kind of deal where like Huang Mi was like didn't really have any idea of what he was doing going in, but like he he toughed it out, he paid his dues, he figured out like where he was in the grand scheme of things. I can respect that. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna add a couple of like darker dust clouds and a couple of lighter dust clouds up in here to create the illusion of depth. Okay, there we go. Here's a second century warlord follow-up. 3.2 thousand words. Let's fucking go. You may interpret this like him putting his hand near there as him either doing like the rich person oh ho, 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 laugh, or as him trying to shield his lungs from the dust storm that he imagines his men's horses are kicking up. There we go. Hmm. My only concern is that there might not be enough contrast. Hang on. Yeah, but having the tree there for scale is kind of helpful. Hang on, I have a third solution to this. So, okay, file. No, not file. Tonal correction. Gradient mapping. My man. Hmm. Oh, wait, hang on. I've got a better idea for how to do this. Let's just select the horse guys here, rasterize this, turn them like pure white, and then give them like a slight Gaussian blur so they have like a very subtle outline. The use of assets here is within the spirit of the second century warlord, I think. Listen, you have to think strategically with these sorts of things. What tripped me up the first meme redraw is that I spent too many resources and I only ended up making 4. This time I used everything in my arsenal and I ended up with like 6. Let me make sure I'm counting that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah, we got 6, and this one will be 7. We might be able to do all of them this time, which would be great, because one of my only regrets from the first meme redraw stream is that we had some awesome submissions that I didn't get a chance to do. So that's why I kind of wanted to do a revenge stream, if you will. Like, that's the idea behind calling this like the meme redraw revenge, is that I'm kind of trying to. Well, the idea originally was to like return to the concept, because I feel like I didn't do enough with it the first time. But I think like with the like announcement and with like the video and everything, I feel like this time I can like relay it to Rust properly. I think that was my thumb right there that I just erased, or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But yeah, I hate the feeling of leaving things undone. When I have like something that like a whip or something that I just have not properly brained out or put it at, like at a finished state, it haunts me a little bit. Like, I have this one drawing of Faust from Guilty Gear that I started last year and I still have not finished. I also have some art that I had to do for a close friend of mine that, you know, I'm technically under no obligation to do, but I do want to do it for them because I love them. And, you know, I also think about that a lot. So hopefully between some of these comic work streams and everything, I'll have a chance to like get back to those. We have a Pabs winner, a Pabs loss. That's right. Listen, winning as a warlord is all about the attitude. You got to have a right attitude to win as a warlord. Where in God's name is this? Oh, hang on. There we go. Let's put this guy in this folder here. How do I... Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make 2 copies of this. The first one, we're going to erase this first bit here. Okay. Move this down here. Move this over here. Pabs Lite does sound like a small town in a fantasy RPG. You know what? You're right. Pabos, Pabs Keep, Pabs Lite. Hmm. And then just drag this over here. It's pissing me off that these aren't perfectly aligned toward the center. Or actually, this might fit better as 2 lines, and I can just kind of like hang on. My new indie RPG about Pabs and Spins Wheel. Please let it be crystals. Please let it be crystals. Please let it be crystals. I love Crystal Fantasy. I love Crystal Fantasy. And then here's the clever bit. We're just gonna expand this like white square that we had in the layer below, and then we're just gonna make that so that it's this whole thing here, and then we're gonna merge these 2 together. What the? Huh. Wait, if this one... Hang on. I think I might have gotten myself turned around a little bit. But we're good now, we're good now. Everhood clone about crystals and also the sun. God. I think about that fight... I've never played Everhood, but I think about the fight you have with the sun in that game a lot. Particularly because of like the atmosphere with it, right? You have like this really... Like, if you've never seen the Everhood fight against the sun, it has this very... hard style kind of techno track behind it. And it definitely feels like something is talking to you or shouting at you. And it's fighting back as much as possible, and you still manage to kill it. And it's such a fascinating bit of game design. I don't think I could finish Everhood because I suck at like dodging. But I really like what it's done with just all of its ideas and how it's executed them. All right, blend, blur. There we go. Same. Yeah. Yeah, there's something very fascinating about Everhood. It's... How do I put this? It definitely feels like the sort of thing like some kid who like some kind of edgy teenager would like build their entire brain chemistry and personality around. And I mean that in the most flattering and like awe-inspiring way possible. Like, I feel like Everhood has the sort of things in it that really would really connect with someone and would really like give you a lot to chew on. And I think that would be the kind of thing that if I had played or like heard of in my teenage years, I would have just eaten that shit up. Staring at my copy of the game, like, I don't think I'm powerful enough. Same though. I don't think I actually do. I have Everhood in my library. I might not have it in my library, which would make sense because I don't think I can beat it in the first place. Okay, and now I'm going to look for a picture of a muddy field. Trick Corgi into playing it. I think I gave them a copy. Nice. Good move. I need like marshland or something. Or no, I guess it wouldn't be marshland. It's just noted to be kind of muddy. Something that kind of throws me off whenever I eyebrows unsplash for resources is that very rarely you will get like a random picture of some fuckboy who is like posing like very artistically and whatnot. I'm like, that's great, man. I am not looking for that right now though. All right, I'm gonna use this one. Okay, and here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go back to the asset store. I'm gonna look for like horseshoe prints or hoof prints. Yeah, this works. All right, give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. I'm just gonna keep refreshing this tab until it gives me what I want. But yeah, it's great when you have friends that have like elite gamer blood and can complete the video games that are too hard for you to do. I was born a younger sibling, so I have that kind of like in my DNA memory. Just asking my older brother to help me with a game. Definitely younger sibling kind of shit, but I'll own it. I'll own it. Whoops. Oh, I'm in the wrong. Hang on. Let me try something real quick. Okay, it's throwing too many horseshoes in too many different directions. But maybe that's fine. Younger siblings needing games played for them is why I have a job on the damn platform. So true, V. God. That means that potentially declining birth rates are going to be a major loss of like Twitch streamer presence. You know, now everybody's going to be an only child. Nobody will have that like itch, that younger sibling itch to like watch somebody play a game for you. We're going to be out of a job, dude. The most oppressed class of all, Twitch streamers. All right. So here's my thoughts for how we're going to do the hoof prints, right? Dark brown, muddy kind of code. And then, Hang on, maybe I can use a multiply mode or something for this. That makes them vanish, that makes them vanish. Alright, so we're just gonna have like normal hoof prints on here. Unless... Hang on. One time on like a Blender video, right? I saw somebody use this thing where like they had made a very flat kind of like, say, smiley face coin thing, right? And it was like a very thin one, right? But then what they did is that they made an effect so that it just kind of like rolled itself out. We need to figure out how to make that happen for like normal art pieces as well, like on a massive scale, because that's going to make my life much easier when drawing hoof prints like this. Actually, what I could try to do: filter, blur, motion blur. Hang on, I might be out to something here with this one. Okay, that's making them go downward. We need them upward. Yeah, okay. Hang on. Yes. The pieces are coming together. All right. All right, we're back. We're back. We're so back. All right. Gonna make this like a nice kind of like mud like that, and then we're gonna have these ones be like a kind of a darker mud, maybe. This doesn't seem to be working. Maybe if I flip the way they're... Ooh, yep. All right, all right, all right. Now this I like. Through sheer ingenuity, my lazy ass has made the impossible possible. You love to see it, truly you do. I will do so much shit just to get out of drawing things that I don't want to draw. All right. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm also going to have like me kind of in the ORZ pose, in the pose of supplication, if you will. And actually, maybe we can almost give these guys like a sort of drop shadow as well. I don't know if that might be overhandling the food, so to speak. No, that looks fine. Okie dokie. All right, I'm gonna put me in the like ORZ pose. Hang on, I need to move my head a little bit here. Okay. Let's put all this other stuff in a folder of its own. This way we can like, there we go. Yep. Now I am ready to operate. Okay, then we'll have my huge head, my massive dome. God, I do actually have a rather large head. You know, not if I may get a little bit real, I do actually have a rather large head. To the point that, and it's like a hereditary thing because my father also has a very large head. And so the other day he was like trying on a head and he was like, this thing's gonna be too small. They're always too small. And it fit him perfectly fine. And he was like, oh my god. We were all so excited that the hat actually fit him. It was crazy. That's a very unexpected problem, right? Like you always expect clothes not to fit properly because like your body shape, your like your like maybe your knees are too big or something. I don't know. Stuff like that. I feel like we don't talk enough about people who are oppressed in the society because they can't wear 5 head Pabs. Mm-hmm. God, this is definitely like the most despair I've ever drawn Pabs in. Like, he looks fucking miserable. When things are going well, I say, bitches love my fangs. When things are going poorly, I say, this time I'm really gonna become a second century warlord. What is the average human head size? Because clearly I don't have it. What, are you also part of the hashtag big head gang? Being a warlord will do that for you. Yeah. This time I'm really gonna become a wizard. Do you think like saying fuck it, maybe I'll just become a wizard is like the it's like the equivalent of like it's like the second century warlord equivalent of like saying fuck it, I'm just gonna become a professional Twitch streamer. Hashtag bobblehead gang. God. Let's see. This is why I thought he was a time traveler. I thought he was a future guy who said like, fuck it, I'll just become a warlord in the second century. Can't be that hard. Guy who didn't study history. Oh my god, yeah. Especially if you're like fucking around in ancient China as a warlord. Those guys were like doing those guys, I'm pretty sure some of the ancient Chinese warlords could move rocks with their minds. Based on some of the stories about them. Like I understand that the Romance of the Three Kingdoms is a very heavily fictionalized account of the events of the Wars of Unification for China, but I don't know. I don't know. I feel like if I try to pull a fast one on Cao Cao, he would definitely catch on to me and find a way to decapitate me. Listen, when your name in your home country becomes like the stand-in for the phrase "speak of the devil and he will appear," you are not somebody who is to be fucked with. It's heavily fictionalized, but the psychic powers are real. That's true. They don't tell you that, but that's true. That's definitely that's why the Emperor of Qin tried to like submerge himself in mercury. He knew that that was the only way to get those sweet psychic powers that his forebears once wielded. Something about this foot is throwing me off. And also the one guy who could just like decapitate 30 people in one go. That was also very much real. I'm a Kuan Yin truther. Okay, so this would go over here. This would go over here. Oh, I see. So the leg would actually be a little bit further back. And actually, I've got an idea for how to really like make this look despair, and like it's in despair. Like I'm gonna have him like drag his fingers across the dirt, the mud. Okay. Go over here. Yeah, the only things that are 100% accurate from the Romance of the Three Kingdoms is that shit that Kuan Yin did and that shit that Lubu Fengxiang did. Those dudes really did go that hard. Everything else is just completely made up, though, or rather inaccurate. I remember once reading somebody say something like to the effect of, my major flaw is that I believe that if I get angry enough, I can accomplish any feat of strength. Like if I just need to unlock the correct kind of anger, like the correct kind of volume and like extent of anger, and I will be able to like literally pile drive a mountain. And honestly, mood. I don't know. Making decisions while angry is a horrible idea, right? You're not in your right state of mind. You might say something hurtful. You might make a choice that in the heat of the moment that doesn't actually like make sense to you or locks you into something you don't actually want to be like. However, I do think that it should also give you a berserker power up. We have guys out here thinking they're the Incredible Hulk here, huh? Perhaps not thinking, but desperately wishing, I think. All right, here's how we're gonna do the rest of this. So we're gonna grab this, flatten it, going to flip it upside down. There we go. All right, bring the luminosity all the way down. Hit that thing with the Gaussian blur tool. Course correct for this, and there we go. This is such a good drawing, Pabs. I hope you know how much I enjoy your work. Thanks so much, Common. I always appreciate it when you come by as well. Thank you for always stopping by. Now for the piece de resistance, or piece of mud resistance. I don't know. There we go. Wait, hang on. I have one more thing that I need to do to make this completely to kind of elevate this a little bit, and that is to add a little twinkle to where like he's crying. There we go. Just a little one. Just to make sure Bro understands the extent of his actions. Okay, and then just move this on up. I don't want to block the cow is the problem. Tough situation, honestly. Maybe we can just kind of... No, that's not quite it. Yeah, that's such a good cow is the problem. Hang on. Perhaps a compromise is in order. Wait, I know what to do, I think. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to move the hoof prints a little bit further up. We're going to move this part a little bit down. Yes! Perfect. Okay. We adapt. We overcome. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to add another folder here, and then now what we're going to do is we're just going to very carefully select around like where the cow's hoofs are. We stay hungry, we devour. Yeah, there's like a Dark Souls text above my head now, in my HUD now that just says cow saved. Cows are the best, man. They deserve so much more. They deserve so much from us. Genuinely one of the least offensive animals that I can think of. Alright, and then we just invert this. Fly mask. Boom. Actually, hang on. Wait. Maybe I use like the... Yeah, there we go. Or wait. Alright, we might not be fully back just yet. We're like 80% back. Alright, we're fully back now. Alright, there we go. Alright, I'm gonna save this one. I think this might be looking up seemingly instantly over this defeat. Man, cows are the best. Yeah, in my warlord story, that's how when I decide to become like a dirt farmer or some shit. Hang on, I forgot to add like the dirt patches right here. Yeah, I think this might be the last one I do for tonight. I think I had like a couple more, but I think we're pretty well done with them. I think we have like a majority of them done, so I'm feeling very confident in my decision. All right. Yeah, great one to end out on. Thank you for that submission, Jupiter. I wonder if there's like a way to. Oh yeah, there we go. Or maybe with like a rough eraser or something. I don't know. All right, perfect. Okay, let's see if who all is streaming today. I don't remember. I've been kind of locked in from the beginning, so I don't have a good track on who all is streaming right now. Okay, let's go say hi to Bunny, who is playing Omori. All right, I will catch you all later. Enjoy your evenings, and I will see you tomorrow for some comic work. Thank you for your submissions, and it's good to be back. Later. Bye.